listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast After Show.
I would sing, but you know what? I'll spare you guys. Hello, BCs. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV on this lovely Valentine's Day week. We're here to break down an episode of Beauty and the Beast that was meh, in my opinion, as far as romance is concerned. But you know, that's just me. I'm your host, Alikona Bradford, and I am joined by these two lovely people over here.
Hi, everyone. It's Paige Sullivan.
Hi, everyone. Angarita.
And we are all together. Finally, all three of us here.
Yes, hello.
Reunited, and it feels so, yeah.
So much love.
I think it's funny that you said this episode was for you, because I got so many tweets that were like, you are going to sorry, guys. I know you were like, you have to extend your after show. We only get a certain amount of time, so we can't do that. But they're like, there was so much. It was so good. And you were like, I'm with you, though. No, I'm with you, too. I wasn't ecstatic. I liked everything we got, but I wasn't like over the moon about it.
Well, was it the love part, or were you about the show? Or were you about like just the love connections? Were you not feeling it?
No, not about the show, because y'all know I love the show.
Right.
It was just the love triangle-esque, trying to be a triangle, not quite a triangle.
It was like a fake triangle for half an episode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we will talk about my boy JT. We will talk about you, but that's later.
Yeah.
Man, I should have never revised that.
But anyway, no, I'm talking about this episode in general, because I felt like the whole episode is two people being super defensive. Mm-hmm. You know, Cat so busy trying to prove that she's over Vince, and Vince so busy trying to prove that he doesn't care and she should be with Gabe and this and that. I'm like, you guys are seriously dancing in a very obvious circle, and eventually the only person that's going to get hurt by this is Gabe. So,
true, Gabe.
Figure it out. That's how I feel.
Yes, I agree, but Gabe is putting himself in a difficult situation as well, where he knows the situation, he knows the circumstances, and he should know better than to think Cat's over him completely.
I 100% agree with that. Gabe,
Love is blind.
No, it's
but
not.
I mean, but he's a grown man, you know, and he's like getting advice from the ex, and they're like hanging out and talking all the
Which
time.
is weird.
Oh my
PS.
God. Oh, which is just so weird. And then she's like trying to explain things to him, and the ex is right there. Like, really? Like,
The fact that you even need an explanation is a problem. The fact that there's even a discussion as to why she might not be ready, or the fact that things weren't connecting the way they should have. Mm-hmm. Relationships should be easy. Not throughout the entire relationship.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Whoa.
Not all of us are with our high school sweetheart, so...
relationships should be easy.
No.
Wow.
You guys let me finish my sentence.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you can be biased all you want, but relationships at the beginning should be easy. You shouldn't have to fight to get into the relationship. What happens after that isn't always Pleasantville, but yes, I think it shouldn't be hard to get together.
Man, someone should have told me that a long time ago.
It saved you so much trauma.
I've been swimming upstream.
Yeah.
As has Gabe. Gabe, you were swimming upstream, buddy.
Yeah.
We know it as fans. This isn't going to last.
Right.
He knows it. That it's not going to work.
In his defense, maybe he's just being optimistic. He really cares about this person, and he's just hoping that he could have
The only way it works is if Vincent literally is killed by someone. Like, I swear, that
and then
is
she'll
literally
go through a
it.
mourning period, and I actually even think that won't do it.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, speaking of mourning period, though, I think everybody in a relationship, when you exit a relationship, there should be a mourning period.
A long one.
And she's going from one dude to the next dude.
Mm-hmm.
Not okay. And her getting advice from Vincent, or him putting his advice on her without her asking, still is very awkward. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is awkward. As your friend, I feel like...
What is that about?
I don't know.
And then mourning period, like, Tori, what? Like,
No, he didn't love Tori.
No, but still, I mean,
Tori
come
was an
on.
acquaintance who liked to sleep over.
Yeah, but she died. I mean, you know.
I mean,
I know. I should be a little more.
a little more.
It wasn't like,
sensitive.
hey, we just stopped texting, man. It didn't work out. It was like, she died. He's on the couch, like eats pizza for like a day, and he's like, well, over that.
Yeah, but
On to the ex.
You're right.
I think in any of these situations with Tori, with Vincent and Kat, like I always tell my friends when they get out of like a relationship, whether it's 6 months or like 6 years, you should really take like a year to be you. Like, who are you without that person? Because if
Right.
you never find out who you are, how the heck are you going to get into a relationship with someone else and try and be a new person? You can't. You're going to be forcing it. And I feel like Kat is just forcing it. But it doesn't help that the reason they broke up was because Vincent was abducted and lost his memory, and it wasn't really any fault of his own.
Right, but here's the thing: is it really gets me that Vince is sitting here feeling guilty, and you know the reason you don't trust people, and the reason you're having a hard time with Gabe is because of me. And Kat's like, yeah, okay, so and then back to Gabe. It's like, well, the reason I can't trust people and blah blah blah. Shut up, shut up. I get
Wow.
it. It's Vincent's fault. He gets it, but now he's just asking for the blame and taking the blame because he's wallowing in
And
his
she's letting
own
him.
self.
It's
She's
part-
like throwing it on him. She's like, take the blame.
Well, it's part of his hero complex, right? Like, this is actually very smart writing because somebody with a hero complex like that who thinks everything is his fault and he's trying to save the world every single day is going to automatically assume that, like, everything really is his fault, including the bad stuff, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of trickling into this part because it's, yeah, like his best friend was saying, he's like, hey, this isn't really your problem. It's not really your fault. And he's still continuously blaming himself.
Right.
It's not his fault. People have issues outside of whatever you create in that relationship.
Right.
And him taking all that blame on, it's just creating roadblocks for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and JT being the best friend too, I feel like the whole Vincent coming to the conclusion that, yeah, I do have feelings for her, which he knew, he just didn't want to say out loud. But this whole episode, JT is this hopeless romantic who's just pushing and pushing, and in such a giddy way. It's really adorable, but at the same time, he's like,
Is it adorable? Is it adorable?
It is
Ladies,
adorable.
is it
It is adorable.
Lies.
But you know what? This is a lady's opinion, okay?
But okay. If somebody gave you all of those balloons, somebody that you were not necessarily super. I mean, look at her reaction, right? You guys asked for the romance, and then once you get these overtures, like, oh, that guy's creepy. That guy just went like way overboard.
No, the reason she's having one negative reaction is because of her boss. So it's like she's got this pressure on her already. Two, she didn't know who they were from.
Thank you.
If there was a note that said from JT, I think she wouldn't have said those things. She would have been like, oh, JT got me like this really intense Valentine. Like, what?
I want to say, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, you're a cop, you're an investigator, and you put yourself in a situation where there's plenty of creeps around. You're female in a quote-unquote man's world. So if you got a bunch of stuff like that, yeah, maybe it is a creep. Maybe it's somebody you arrested like years ago who has a complex and is secretly in love with you or something.
Okay, so question. So if
Answer.
you got that huge bouquet while you were at work in front of everybody, how would you react?
I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
See, I'd probably be like, I'd probably take a few of the balloons down and like cut them.
I'm the one that be like skipping to the restroom. Hey
It was
guys,
huge,
look at my
man. That
balloons.
thing
Hey
was
guys.
like coming out from
Yeah,
underneath
but
the
it also
was
came
a lot.
with chocolate. So anything that comes with chocolate's like A-okay in my book.
So basically, you cut the balloons, you keep the chocolate.
Obvious, yes. And even Tess says, Tess was like, the chocolate was good.
Hey, I'll take it all. The balloons, the flowers. Well, vegan chocolates.
vegan chocolate.
Vegan chocolates.
Vegan chocolates. All right, note to self.
Yep.
Note to self.
So on Friday, I will be expecting a delivery
That's
from
fantastic.
Anonymous,
From
aka
Anonymous.
Alex.
Right. That's exactly what
I
I'll be doing on my
will,
Friday.
I'll buy myself some chocolate.
Yeah, me
Oh, I'll
too.
send you some.
Oh, thank you. I've never had vegan chocolate.
Oh,
We
they're
can all
amazing.
just send it around. We all just send
spread
each
the
other.
love.
We'll do
Spread
a
the
secret
love.
Valentine. Oh.
So what do you guys think about the Valentine's Day to-be wedding that was not a wedding?
That was weird.
Okay, we
wedding
called that
itself.
Sam was a bad guy.
Yeah, well, a lot of our Twitter followers actually caught on to that before. I think I didn't want to believe that, honestly, because I was looking at from the perspective of, oh, I love Tom Everett Scott. He wouldn't be the bad guy.
That's true. I did have a little bit of trouble getting past the fact, like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then-
I thought he was bad.
Well, last episode, it was hard for me to tell because he was in a cell and you felt bad for him because he thought he was this abused guy.
True.
But this episode, something about his energy, and he's a talented actor, so he did it well.
Yeah, kudos
but
to
it's
him.
like he was acting to be a guy who was acting fake. If that makes sense.
It does, but for some reason off the bat, I was like, they wouldn't have kept somebody in a cell here. Like, they wouldn't have kept somebody in a cell here, which makes me...
You were worried about that.
Yeah, and he wasn't as tormented as I thought he could be.
That's true.
You know, I thought he acted scared and nervous and stuff, but I didn't think he acted like somebody who was in a cell for 6 years.
Yeah. You're right.
You know,
Right.
in solitary confinement, basically, like you're alone almost all day, unless the people are being killed beneath you or you're doing work. It's like...
He was pretty clean.
He was pretty normal, you know? Mm-hmm. And the fact that he was even willing to talk to JT, like he didn't know who JT was. He didn't know. And the fact he was giving him all this information, I just felt like there was just something a little off with him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know for sure, but I thought like,
So you guys think he's a mastermind?
Well, now
we know.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, you think that's it? The buck stops with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Guys.
No, I don't think he's
so.
Is he the last layer on the onion?
No. He can't be the last layer, but I think for this storyline, for like what was happening in that room, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, though?
But they had me on the Gabe train.
But.
Did they?
Yeah.
What?
I believed it.
Oh, I did not. But
here's the thing. One of the comments made towards the end of the show, Catherine was talking to Dana, and she was saying, you know, maybe he was just around Tony too long. So we still don't know who Tony Barnes is, unless that's a fictitious name.
I feel like it's a fictitious name.
I do, too. I feel like it's a company. Like it's like an organization that goes by Tony. Like so, like they say Tony Barnes owns a bunch of property right in the city. Isn't that something they said at one point?
I don't recall.
I feel like they said that last episode. I may be wrong, but the fact I just feel like it's a bigger thing than a person.
So let me ask you something. Oh, no, I think I just answered my own question.
You can still ask.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is, who was because the emails from the chemist was clearly Sam to somebody else saying scare him, then it said to kill him.
Right.
So I was like, Sam hiring the guy to come scare him and attack him with this big of a scratch, by the way, but kill him. So he was staging the whole thing to look like someone was attempting to kill him.
Yeah,
correct.
Because he knew better. You know, he knew the cops were like looking for who attacked him. The fact that they found out who it was so quickly,
right?
Probably not. You know, but yeah, I felt like he was behind the entire thing.
Yeah, well, because he then, you know, this person doesn't know who he is being ordered by, right? So he has like a complete and absolute alibi, especially if he's ordering somebody to kill him,
right?
At his wedding, I mean, that's about as clear and free as you can get, I think.
He was very strategic about everything he did this episode.
It's smart.
From planting the serum to the bones.
Mm-hmm. The serum was genius. I mean, that was genius.
But how was he getting into Gabe's? And like, why did he pick Gabe?
I don't think
he pick
did.
Gabe?
Because remember that there's a whole thing about
because of the orphanage.
Exactly, they're all connected. Those were all kids that were experimented on.
And they're all dead, which is so sad.
Yeah, but
so Gabe was down in the dungeon then.
No, he was never in that dungeon.
Not in that specific dungeon.
No,
so that whole thing was a lie, right?
No, that was from last season.
He was in a different thing. I mean, he was made into a beast as a kid, and then his family would keep him in this like room when he would like
room. It's the boss. I can't even say it right, but you can give me a little accent.
No, I'm not going to.
Why? I like it.
Thank you.
Just for a few sentences.
No, because I don't have a Boston accent.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you. My hometown. You have to just say things like you have to say things like chicken palm. Like you can't say chicken palm.
Oh, I love chicken palms from Boston.
Chicken palm, yeah, exactly. And you do
I want more butter.
Yeah. The cellar, yeah, things like that. But the car, yes. But I just felt like it was weird to me. We didn't mention this. That Cat had this like weird like flash. Like, did she?
Yeah, what is that?
Does she have brain things now?
I don't know. It was just maybe a memory.
Yeah. You know, like
Good question.
Well, like how Vincent like will track someone like he like sees it. You know, like he knows it's happened. Like that's what it felt like Cat was having.
Right.
In that instant.
Right.
And that's why I was thinking like, ooh, Gabe. That's why I was on Gabe's tail about things.
Yeah.
No pun intended. The beast.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I felt like, okay, Gabe told Catherine, like, when they had that whole awkward scene with Vincent and Cat and Gabe, and they were in Gabe's house, and the whole throat thingy went down.
They played that up on the preview, though, did they not?
They sure did. They sure did. I was
misdirection.
Like,
the art of misdirection.
Jealous.
Editing. Oh.
Good. Well, first of all, weird to see them kissing and making out.
Yeah.
It was meh. At the end, I felt like it was a little bit more genuine, but that time around, it did feel a little forced on her behalf. Like, he's really trying, and she's just like,
Yeah. She's like, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
But there was a point to me saying all this.
Vincent attacking
The awkward
him.
makeout?
No, not the awkward makeout. I actually wanted to get past that and just talk about Vince and an argument that I just clearly spaced on my.
Vince and Gabe yelling at each other, and then Cat.
Yeah, I don't know.
There were a lot of interesting Vincent Gabe moments. throughout the
Very
course of
much
this
so.
show.
Very much so.
I'm over it. Honestly, I think it's weird. I think it's annoying. I think, like you said, it was a love triangle that never had to be. If you're not gonna, if we're not gonna get Vincent and Kat at the end of this love triangle, I don't want it this episode.
Right.
And let it draw out a little longer. Don't let it just be like so easily resolved.
Right.
Like if it's gonna be a love triangle, make it a
Well, I
love
think
triangle.
I know what I was gonna say.
What?
Sorry, just had to
Go for it.
That's okay.
But
Let it
when
out.
okay, so okay. After they have the whole argument and Gabe is about to walk out. First of all, it's weird the way she's comparing what Gabe did in the past, which is when he was a beast, he was not so nice to her. But comparing it as if he cheated on her, like the way she's treating the whole situation as if it's a dude who's been cheating on her. Clearly, he hasn't. But
Yeah,
when
that's
Gabe
true.
storms out the room and he tells Vincent, "You know I'm telling the truth, right, about the vial?" And Vince says yes, and he says, "All right, cool. Well, can you tell her, because I'm sick and tired of trying to prove that she can trust me or something." But the way he said it, I was like, slam.
But
Slam.
how can she trust him? I mean, I get it. He's a good guy. He's doing everything he can. But once something like that has happened, no matter what, you will always remember it. Like, she
Yeah.
will never, even if her father wasn't in jail and they were having a relationship right now, she would always remember all the things that happened. And
What?
she will always remember all the things that happened with Vincent. That's never going to go away.
Yeah,
Those
but
things
you know
will
what?
never end.
She would go back to Vincent. She will not. She may never be right with
But
Gabe.
there
And that
was-
it comes down to chemistry and love. They just don't
Yeah.
have that spark, and that's why this triangle isn't working out. I think Vince and Gabe have more chemistry. They can get. Their bromance. When I was starting, like, if you forget the past, I'm like, I could see these guys hanging out. Whereas
they were friendly.
I never feel like I could see Gabe and Kat as that never seems to have that like chemistry.
There's no draw there. There's no
Yeah.
pull. Like, when you're watching, I don't feel them, like, connecting.
It's because it's a boy who has a crush on a girl and a girl who's like, her mind is over here and he's looking at her while she's looking over here.
But I agree with you, Alex. I think that she really will never love Gabe the way she loves Vincent, and that's why it's easier for her to look past his flaws.
Pretty much.
But they've already. It also helps that they already had a love. He saved her life, and that's where their relationship started. And they had this bond and connection that lasted over years.
Right.
Whereas she's only known Gabe really like a year,
Right.
and her first impression of him wasn't too great.
Right.
But then why select somebody who she knows somehow intrinsically it's not going to work out, and she still got that?
She's trying-
She could have picked another guy.
She keeps trying to tell herself, though, like, I'm over it. I'm good. I'm moving on. And him and Tess have been like, are you good? Like, are you moving on? Like, she can't just be with any other guy because any other guy is not going to get her life. She can't be with someone who doesn't know about Beast. She can't be with someone who doesn't get her work. Like,
That does limit things.
She could,
but she'd have to cut Vincent off out of her life permanently and leave that chapter behind and move on to
Which
being
is
normal.
what she's not willing to do, hence why she's still
And
there.
now
Yeah.
she feels like she's a part of it because she's learned that her history, like her family
Right.
and her past, is really involved in all of this.
Who's going to be like that interesting compared to like a Beast? You know what I mean?
At this point in life,
really?
nobody else.
Like
That's
really,
a
like
high
what
bar
do you even
to-
do with that? It's like somebody could have a lot of hobbies.
Like, if they ever have
You
a
know?
kid or something, like Vincent and Kat, like, that's like the only thing. I feel like she'd actually be overwhelmed with a kid and be like, wait, what do I do?
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
like, anything else
Well,
in life
I
is a
haven't
breeze.
even thought about the logistics of that.
Well, they're going to have a Beast baby. I mean, it would be a
Baby.
Tory.
It's like Twilight Saga
Whoa.
in beast mode.
Bee baby.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't think we're going to be getting a baby, don't worry.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, we haven't.
Wait,
even-
hold on.
Yeah, we're getting way ahead of ourselves
What
here.
about though? What about JT at the wedding when Vincent and Kat walk in? He's like, "Oh my God, it's like Brangelina."
I know,
was
I
like,
loved that.
"Shut
She
your
did look
face."
good though.
They both
No,
look
she
good.
did. They both did.
You know. but
They
I
also
was-
do look good together.
They
I mean,
do,
they just
but it was
fit
just-
together, yeah.
It was cute. It was silly. And
He
funny.
had so many one-liners, as always.
Yeah.
I'll try and find them, but he was funny.
Yeah,
he
say
was funny
let's
this
talk
episode.
about him. Let's get to the good stuff because He was usually his character is the comic relief, but at the same time, he also was the romance. And last season, when there was a Valentine's Day, he was the one who was on the computer Googling how to be romantic for Vince so he could get Cat.
Right.
Now, this time around, he's on the computer figuring out how to get Tess.
Right.
He needs to not use a computer for that.
Go from the heart. Go from the heart.
Yeah, but I think, well, when he did go from the heart, he did pretty well.
Yeah, that was actually pretty
See?
creative. That was pretty good.
Exactly. You didn't have to Google that.
It was just funny because at the end, that just goes to show you do get her. Because at the very end, she was like, "Wow, thanks! Like no one's ever done anything that nice for me before."
I know,
And you're
so
like,
cute.
See? He just makes it too complicated.
Yeah.
Just got to do it.
But I did love when he was like, "Did you at least like the chocolate?" And
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah.
But I'm glad she booked them. Like, I'm assuming there's a hotel
room. I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Skip the like reconnection, like the get to know each other again kiss. Like, let's just take it to the hotel.
So does that mean then
Mm-hmm.
my prediction was on? Because can you assume that they kissed last time?
No, they did not. So you were off by one episode, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll give that to you.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this relationship goes.
Me
'Cause I think it's
too.
going to be a relationship now.
Oh, come on. After you book a hotel room, like that
Well,
cannot be a one night stand when
The
you're
sex
going to.
could be bad. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe she booked the hotel room because she wants them gone in the morning.
No. It's an escape. It's Valentine's
They're
Day.
up by the border of Canada. I mean, they've got to find a place to stay.
That's
Yeah.
another good point.
No, I think, well, and P.S., by the way, I thought that little wedding setup was very romantical.
It was pretty.
It was, yeah, and even at the very end.
After they blew it up.
Yeah, even after that. It was still pretty.
It was so gorgeous.
I know.
I was like,
This is where men and women differ.
no.
It was the street lights, the
The
To be
snow.
Like that doesn't even register to me. Like I have no idea what you guys have been talking about. Like I remember there was a chapel and there was stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we look at different stuff.
Clearly.
Just, it wasn't even the chapel. It was like the outside
Yeah.
was the prettiest. It was so nice.
Exactly. I
And
agree.
because probably because the chapel got blown up. So I mean that
I
was
remember
probably
the
really
explosion
nice.
very well.
I'm sure you do.
I have
It was
to
a very
say,
good explosion. It was very, directed.
Do we think Sam went bad? I know this is like jumping ahead. Do we think Sam went bad because his son died? Or was he already bad?
I think he was already bad because his son, they
Tried it.
hypothesized that possibly he was experimented on too. So there was already something.
Do you think he
inside
was
of Sam.
experimented on, or do you think he was trying to find a cure?
No, they were trying to find a cure, and there was even like court documents about it. So like that one was like on the books.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they were able to find Frank, what's his name, and like, kind of compare. Mm-hmm. I don't think he was being tested on to be like a beast or anything. Like I don't think that's what it was.
Right.
But I'm just wondering if Sam was already involved in other stuff, and that's how he even had access to this kind of
Well,
testing.
I mean, a lot of people go through a trauma like that and don't end up turning, locking people in prisons and burning them alive.
But
you know what I
didn't-
mean? So
okay,
yeah.
there must have been something.
But didn't they say something in the show along the lines, how did they talk about Donaldson and how Sam already knew him? And Donaldson was one of the people that attacked him. And I swear it went back to somewhere in the orphanage, right?
No.
No?
Donaldson was in the Marines.
Yes,
Right.
He was a Navy SEAL.
And no, this is the way they were connected. He was up in Harrison. They had an APB out on him, and he was in Harrison, which is how they connected the two. They were both going to be in the same place and whatever.
Oh.
But they connected him to the guy that they did arrest, which was Frank, and they were both in court documents together, and there was like a disposition or
Correct.
something, and that's how those two were connected.
There was a lawsuit between them.
Yes, in regards to the clinical trial that ended up not helping their son.
Oh. So why would you team up with somebody that was involved in the lawsuit about your son?
Well, they might have had, they probably had some type of we're not talking of them as individuals. They're representing companies or representing schools or wherever they are. And
Coming from the lawyer.
I'm just saying. That's how it goes down. And so when you've got that kind of they're mixing deals together, they're putting out like different intellectual property. They've got like a complex business arrangement. I'm sure maybe over cigars or something. They were like, so, well, we're at it. Let's take over the world through beasts. You in?
And whatever they did with
Deal.
but whatever they did with the kid was a clinical trial. Like it was something they were just trying to see if it would cure leukemia, which means that they were both involved in like weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And which leads me to believe that they were in the court documents, but it's not like one of them got arrested or anything. It was just like this, disposition of something, and therefore that's why I think he kind of went bad before the kid passed
Yeah,
away.
I mean, through that process, you go through a lawsuit together, you probably get to know each other
yeah,
pretty well.
and then the kid dies, right? And apparently their marriage breaks up. Why not go missing? It's just easier.
Yeah, well, you got to wonder, so what was that marriage about then? You know?
What?
I'm sorry. I just read a tweet from one of our listeners right now, and she was talking about Gabe and how he can't help who he loves. And that she says, I'm sure he knows that it won't last. And then she said, love is a bastard.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
It's Valentine's Day, everybody. Put your smiles
Unrecruited,
on.
love is a bastard. Okay.
Love is wonderful.
It can be.
It can be, and then it cannot be.
It can make you crazy, clearly.
It can be all things.
It can be all
All-encompassing.
things, but what is it like to find somebody who's been gone for 5 years that you were married to and loved, and then find out that they planted this whole thing, and then he's gone
Something
evil?
must have been off with that relationship to begin with, right? Because, I mean, they went through
Well, she said that they broke up before he went missing.
Yeah.
So they were broken up, and then they felt like this was their time to start over.
Right.
Oh, got it. But I mean, she made a good point too, because I was gonna say, how did she not see that he was acting a little weird? But she said she was so busy thinking
She's
of the guy
trying
from the
not
past.
to. Yeah, she's trying not to.
Yeah.
I mean, he went missing. I mean, that's a big deal, right? We're not talking about like, oh, I'm just going to be tied up at work over here. Like, he went missing.
Yeah, it wasn't like he didn't marry someone else. Like, he was
Right.
gone. Like, gone. I just love, though, how Kat in the car was like, well, if it helps at all, he was going to save you.
You're like, please be quiet. Please be quiet right now.
But-
No, that's not helping.
Hey, that is a difference. There's some.
He
there's a-
loved
Thank
her.
you.
Well, no, I mean, hey, like, he's psychotic versus psychotic and, like, he's trying to kill you, right?
That
Like, it's
doesn't-
something. I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm not saying it's like.
Yeah, it's
what
like
you
it's
want.
just a little, yeah.
She didn't seem. I mean, she was upset, but, like, this was supposed to be, like, her wedding, and her husband ends up trying to kill
Well, he's only been back
everybody.
for a week. I mean,
Right.
Not that that's not devastating, obviously,
Right.
but I feel like she's also a very logical person.
That's true.
She's an FBI agent. Now that she has all the facts, not that she's not going to be hurt and she's going to be very sad, but she has the facts, and she's kind of like, okay.
But do you think that's an easier, definite breakup versus somebody going missing with unknown
Yes.
answers?
Yes,
That person could have
now she
suffered.
knows. And the reason she stuck around for those 6 years, didn't get with anybody else, and was constantly searching, I think because she didn't know what would have happened if he hadn't been missing. Like, where would she be? What would her life be? They had a son together. He died. Now he goes missing. That's all she has left to hold on to. And now that's gone. And that's why I think she's fine with going into witness protection.
She
She's
did
like
want somewhere warm.
Yeah, as you said.
Warm.
Hey, I would too.
But you know what? When that happened, right, and then there was the talk between Vince and Gabe, and he was talking about, so, you're hiding so that way Sam doesn't see you. I thought they were going to put Gabe in witness protection and make him disappear for a little while, and I thought, oh, okay, that's how they're going to end the relationship, make it clean, easy, he doesn't get hurt, he has to leave. But instead it turned into this, I'm sorry.
Are they going to hang out now?
Yeah.
Is Vince going to go over to Gabe's and you're going to
Watch football?
They're going to watch football and play Xbox together?
I don't know.
They will always have to be around each other. Maybe not like friends, but they're going to have to be.
Weird,
that
but
is
it's
rough.
weird. I mean, even, I don't remember if it was Gabe or Vince that said, I think it was Gabe, just how he's getting used to their friendship. And for a moment, Vince was finally admitting to himself that he had feelings, and, of course, JT's pushing him to be like, your window of opportunity, and it closed.
Yeah.
And, at the very
Gabe's
end.
surprisingly very okay with that friendship. I would have
That is
vetoed
weird.
that.
Yeah.
You
Like-
can't veto anything.
I don't know. I would have vetoed that.
She
one.
probably would have dumped you, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's
you can't
fine.
tell a girl you can't do that.
That's
Especially
true.
that new into the relationship. You gotta
No.
get her on lockdown first. Then you
Yeah.
cut ties with all the guys you don't want.
But here's my question: how can we ever get rid of Vincent or Gabe? Like, the thing is, to truly not have one of them in the picture, something serious has to happen.
Right.
And I'm not saying romantically or friendship-wise. Like, Gabe would have to be gone for a very serious reason: death. Work. I mean, there has to be something big that takes him away, because he is forever wrapped up in this story now, because he was a beast.
Right.
He's a part of the beast story. He's a part of figuring out all the details, and now they're experimenting on kids from his orphanage. I mean, he is tied to this story.
Right.
So whether or not this love triangle thing, how it pans out, where does he fall? If it doesn't work, where does he work?
Well, I think he has the easiest ability to move on in some ways.
But will he move on from all of the beast stuff? Will he? Because that's what defines him. That's who he's been his entire life.
But he can. but he's got a clean enough break, right? I mean, that's part of what he's doing. Also, he left, right? He's somewhere else. He's not. He can choose to be involved, but he has enough of a clean enough break. He's got a new job. He's got a new life. If he just, I think the only thing tying to him is Cat.
But
I don't think it's the beast
orphanage
stuff.
thing is weird.
It is, but he strikes me as the kind of guy. Yeah, he strikes me as the kind of guy who can kind of just start a new life and move forward. I think what's holding him in this is Cat, and I think until he gets over that, he's going to be tied to the beast thing. But it's through her. I don't think it's his past that's bothering him.
I see it as more than that. Just because that was his whole life, and he worked so hard to find out how to make himself not a beast, and to know that they're targeting people just like him. How can you not?
I mean,
he doesn't seem that driven by it.
I was gonna say your theory is a very great one,
sense.
but when he found out,
seem like it, but how can you
he's just like,
I don't think he is. I honestly don't think. I think every time he mentions the beast stuff, it's always like, we got to deal with this because of Vince. We're trying to protect this of Vince. It's always tied to Vince, or it was tied to Tori. It was never about him and his connection with the beast. And maybe that's his way of breaking past that and putting it in the past and moving forward.
Yeah, he's trying to move on, because is that exactly what he had said in the speech with Catherine, as far as, sorry about all these grand gestures, which P.S. don't be sorry, those were great gestures. But all these grand gestures were made because I felt like I was overcompensating for all the bad things I did in the past. You know what I mean? So he's trying to get rid of the past, like get it done and over with. Like, I did crappy things, now let's move on.
Then what
I'm a great person.
to cut it off then? Just not be with Cat?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what he has to do.
You think it's that simple? It's like if him and Cat are over, he's out?
I think so. He strikes me as that kind of guy. That's my read of him.
Well, you're a man, so you might know better than I would.
Probably not.
Girls don't let go that easy.
No, we sure don't. We sure don't.
No.
God, there was one last point that I had wanted to make this evening, and it just left me because I was so busy listening to you guys.
Sorry.
Which is a great thing. It's an awesome thing. I know what it was. Mexico. Let's talk about the trip.
Right.
Oh, you don't roll your eyes, first of all.
Whoa,
okay.
Whoa. This is a tough crowd. You ladies are tough.
You do not take somebody who you are not actually in a relationship with. You don't whisk them away for the weekend. Here's the thing.
Wow.
She has a job. She has a life. She's in trouble at work. You don't just spring that on someone. I mean, taking them out of the country, that's like a thing. That's like an actual
It's Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day.
Take her to Connecticut to a beautiful bed and breakfast, do a nice spa day. That's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is not jetting off to Mexico.
It was escaping. Like, going to Connecticut is awesome and all.
Overcompensating. It wasn't what a normal Valentine's Day present would be.
Well, if it were my Valentine.
And he was a millionaire, yeah.
Well, you don't know his financial situation.
Yeah, and also, like, it's not like they just met, right?
But they're not together. I mean, I feel like
he's trying to push it that way and give him the opportunity to have this time alone.
I think there's enough of like a bond between them.
Have they even spent a night together?
Well,
it's a good place to try to have your first night together.
Because what if you hate each other and then you're stuck in Mexico together for 3 days?
I think that was a good move. I think that was bold, Gabe. I like his style. He just went for it.
Air high five.
Bam.
I think it's over the top and it's trying to prove something that doesn't need to be proved.
Only because she doesn't like him.
No.
If she liked him, she would have been like, whoa, you're amazing.
No.
Exactly.
You knew exactly what I wanted.
Agreed.
Blah, 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 blah. But because she's not into him, she's like, oh, weird.
Yeah, we voted, you lost.
It's just because you think Gabe's weird.
Right.
I like Gabe, and I enjoy Gabe on this show, and that's maybe why I don't think he has a clean break, because I don't really want him to leave. I just think even if I liked a guy, if they did that, maybe it's my personality. I'd be like, no, I didn't plan, I didn't pack, I didn't tell anybody I was going anywhere. Like, I have to water my plants. Like, that's that's where my head would be. I'd be like, wait, no, I can't.
Oh, see, and I'd be like, let's go. When's the flight?
But I
I
feel like Cat is more like that, though. Cat is very,
That's true.
planned and thought out. She just doesn't do.
She doesn't like to be messed with in that way.
No.
Unless it's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, a beast came into her life and turned it all upside down. She wasn't like, whoa, too much baggage.
But she also forced herself into his life pretty hard.
Right. I will say, though, there was a scene I have in my notes, Alex sucks balls, because I really thought in the beginning of the show
so violent?
Because,
Why can't it be like, I disagreed with Alex on this one?
It could have been like that. It could have been like that.
Whoa.
Too strong.
Yeah.
Too much. But anyway, please, go on.
Thank you.
Why now?
So anyway, the reason is because as we were watching the very beginning scene and Gabe was in his, to me, very shady cell phone place
Wicked shady.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you kidding?
And he was on the phone, sounding like he was doing some creeper stuff.
Sketchy.
Thank you. And what did Alex say as we're watching it? Next scene, he's like, "Oh, really? I thought he was getting a passport photo." I was like, "No, he's not." And
No,
sure enough, that's what he was doing.
I actually
was like,
thought he was getting a
What?
passport photo, but I thought he was leaving the country. Like, I didn't think he was like.
I thought he was getting a
whisking her to
passport
Mexico.
photo and doing something nice.
You know you cannot renew a passport in a day, right?
No, but you need the
It's TV.
photo.
Yeah, photo.
And
there
you can,
go.
when you can do it in a short
Expedite.
period, you can expedite. And it's TV. It doesn't matter.
But
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
the point
saying,
is, the guy seemed nervous. He was like,
what's to be nervous about? You sit there and smile, and why can't you just be like, "Oh, I'm running errands"?
Well, no, he was nervous because she was calling him
Right.
out, and he seemed uncomfortable with lying. I think he's
Right.
generally a good guy, and Vince keeps telling her, like, yeah, he's a good guy. Which kudos to Vince, by the way, because it's not
Yeah,
an easy
that's
thing to
hard.
be like totally into,
Well, he
but the
says
guy
at
you're
the
dating
end-
is pretty solid.
He says
Yeah.
at the end that, like, I love her, but if this is what's good for her, then.
Oh
Right.
man, and he had that creeper stare when they were like kissing in the
Yeah.
window.
A creeper stare was a sad stare.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same.
No, a creeper stare is like creeping and taking pictures. Like, a sad stare is more like, oh no.
My
It
heart
starts off
is ripping out right now
It
and
starts
falling
off
to the
sad,
ground.
it
It's like when you
creepy.
watch your friends play outside and you were inside. It's like, oh, look at them having fun.
Well, I wrote down in my notes too some of the conversation that Gabe and Catherine were having with each other, and quite possibly I didn't write all this down correctly, but when Gabe was talking about making grand gestures and making for the past, she admits that she was confused and pushing him away, this, that, and whatever. And I'm assuming they established, hey, I'm ready. And she was afraid she was going to get hurt. And one of the things he'd said before he kissed her was,
Never hurt you.
yeah. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. But I don't like you with my girl. But
It's sweet. No, but nobody gets
Did she
into
believe it? Does that even matter if a guy says that?
No,
if,
because
if it's genuine, I'm a sap. I probably would have believed it.
No, you
I'm not
do
gonna lie.
believe it. You would believe that. But the thing is, nobody intentionally hurts another person.
true.
Most of the
Well,
time.
most people.
Most people, if you're a good person, if you're the bad people, you can stay away. But like most people, when
Only
they
good
say-
people watch this show.
Yeah, only good people watch the show, anyways. But when they say "I will never hurt you," they mean I will never intentionally hurt you.
True.
I'm sure all of us have done things that maybe hurt our friends' feelings or our parents' feelings or siblings' feelings that we didn't intentionally do. They just happened.
Right.
And then when you think about it, you're like, oh, I feel awful that happened.
Yeah,
But you
but you
can't
can't.
control
But you
that.
can't say that in the moment. Trust me.
Yeah.
If I were to tell a girl, "Hey, you know what? I will never intentionally hurt you," that's
no,
not going to
no,
go
I'm
that
saying-
far.
no.
But even though you're right,
You can
it's the
believe
truth.
him. Yeah, you can
It's
believe
the absolute
him.
truth.
But we all know what he's saying is, I will never hurt you on purpose. But it doesn't mean I will never purposely, never hurt you.
But you can't promise anything but that, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, you can
And
just
hope.
give them your best intentions and hope
Yeah.
that that's what happens.
Although you may inadvertently get your heart broken,
So
it will
how
not
many,
be intentional.
how many episodes do you guys think this romance is going to last?
Two.
Which one are we talking about?
The Gabe and Catherine situation.
Two.
Two? Yeah.
Interesting.
2 or 3. I don't think it's going to be the duration of the season.
But there was a lot of build-up.
There was a
was.
lot of build-up, but
2 seems low. I'm not gonna go as high as 4. I'm gonna go 3.
yeah, because even with this Tory thing, like there was a lot of build-up with the Tory thing. Like they had us hanging and stuff, and then.
But I
just-
never. But here's the thing: is I never
Tori
saw
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but no, I never saw that going anywhere because the lack of chemistry on Vincent's end. She was really into him, but he was like doing one of
But
these.
that's how it is now. It's a cat is
till
into
now.
it.
Till now.
Till
Kat
now.
seems more into it
Now
than Vince
I
was.
feel like at the very last scene is when she finally opened up and became vulnerable to really letting it happen, and I think that's where the sadness came when Vince saw it. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Well, what do you think then? For how many episodes?
I say 3.
I'm gonna go past the 3 and say 4, only because I think they're gonna ride out trying to make this friendship thing work, which is really weird and awkward, not only for Catherine and Vincent, but also for Gabe and Vincent.
And for
attempting
us,
to be
and for
friends.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see the awkwardness. I don't know how intense the romance will get, but I think it'll last for a decent amount of time, because then, like you said, what happens to Gabe? Are they just going to leave him on the show while she falls into Vincent's arms and he's just going to
Okay, well, there's
like,
one
cool.
thing. Well, there's one thing between either there's Gabe and Kat breaking up, or there's Kat going back to Vincent. That may not happen right away.
No, I think it could just be a breakup.
Yeah.
And not-
then she's
not-
like doing
yeah.
her own thing.
Yeah, which I think she has to do.
Yeah.
Once you go
eventually.
beast, you don't go back.
Well, this is what I would like to happen. I would like some other girl to come into the picture, into the scene, and her and Gabe have more chemistry to where he finds his actual soulmate, because he is a good guy and he does deserve somebody
Yeah.
that's going to love him the way that he loves
Maybe
Catherine.
he needs a beast. We need more female beasts.
No, No.
more.
The last
No.
one was
I
a little
want-
catty. I think we're good with.
We need a better. We could have a better one. I mean, she's not the only available option out there. More female beasts.
Well, it looks like we're getting more beasts, so
Yeah,
you might
more
get your
dudes,
wish.
more
Who
dudes.
knows?
I don't think that's what I had in mind.
No, not your type, really?
No.
Seems
Not mine
a
either.
He seems like a nice guy.
He doesn't. He was scary as anything.
Yeah,
He was terrifying, that man.
I'm a very bad judge of character.
You would be like, hey man, what's up?
Hey, man.
She had drinks sometimes.
Right.
No.
More female beasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that one, but okay, I'll take it.
It's a personal request.
Okay, well, we'll let the writers know.
Let them know.
Okay, so I feel like we've wrapped this episode up pretty good. We've broken it down, so why don't we get into some news and gossip?
AfterBuzz TV News.
So while we have our pictures pulled up, let's talk about episode 14, which is not next episode, but the next episode after that. And yeah, so anyways, so Vincent will see what his life... Excuse me. Vincent will see what his life could have been when some of Gabe's acquaintances go missing. So he is still wrapped into the next episode.
See?
Cat and Vince will have to come together to save them. So they're coming together again, guys.
course.
Vincent will end up returning to the hospital where he was an intern, allowing him to see what life could have been. This whole episode seems like it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda episode from what I'm reading.
Had he not gone into the army, had he not...
Yeah.
Had he not become a beast?
Yes. Okay, so my first picture. Does this guy look familiar to you
Oh,
guys?
so sad.
Oh, yes, it is Evan. Well, Max Brown. Anyway, the reason I'm pulling this up is because I'm sure most of you beasties know, but in case you didn't, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday. Yay!
People were tweeting a lot about
Yes.
it.
Yes, he's actually, according to one of our Twitter followers, he's in LA right now. I believe reviewing scripts is what Karen had told us. So also, Angie Redding, you guys know I talk about her all the time. She's always making awesome videos for everybody. So she made a happy birthday video for him with a bunch of the beasties wishing him a happy birthday. So if you had not had a chance to participate and you want to see it, go onto YouTube and search. I believe she has under Max Brown birthday, and then you can see it. All right. This was our trivia question from last week, and Beasties, only 2 of you guys tweeted the answer to me. What's going on? Y'all are slacking.
What is it?
It is a movie from a while ago, and it's called, if I'm saying this correctly,
Shaw?
No, I'm having
It's a very
issues.
interesting title.
Like Shaws of Sunset?
No, it's like Francois Francois. So sorry about that. Just totally tore up the name of this movie. But anyhow, that's what it is for. It's not a movie, excuse me. It was a series. Francois Charles. So the 2 people that did tweet at me, I have this written down. Hold on. Where is it? So it's Serena Canadian. I don't know if your last name is Canadian or you're just putting on your Twitter that
think
you
you're
are
just
Canadian.
Canadian.
Okay.
Could be both.
Okay, and then also Marianne Veldin, if I said that incorrectly, I'm so sorry. But you 2 are the ones who answered my trivia question. So yay, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And in the future, hopefully I'll have more trivia and UBC's better tweet at me so that way I can congratulate more than just 2 people. All right, let's move to the next picture. So my theme for tonight, because I'm always doing themes, I should have done a romantic Valentine's Day theme, but for whatever reason that did not occur to me. So instead I did awesome fight scenes.
To me, that's very romantic.
Yeah, awesome fight scenes.
Yeah.
So this one is from Mortal Kombat, I do believe. This is Kristen Krug back in the day. And so that's my scene for her. Next one, we can move to the next one, is Jay Ryan, and this is obviously from Beauty and the Beast. He looks like he's just fighting water, to be
Yeah,
honest
he
with
does.
you. But
It's difficult to fight water. Have you
Is
ever
it?
tried to fight water?
I haven't, but I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah, water. Water's
Yeah.
tough if there's a strong current.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It can be
saying.
tough.
Water can go through rock.
What I will say, oddly, with all the fight scenes that have happened on this show with him as a beast, can I tell you how difficult it is to actually find scenes of him fighting in photos? I was on the computer for a long time, so that's how I ended up with this picture. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Boom! This is your boy JT with the bat in his hand.
Baseball bat.
Nice.
That's right.
He looks so cash.
I'm just
He
about to
does.
take some few people out. No big, no
baseball
big.
bat.
He is pretty casual.
Yeah. So I got this one as my second up because you couldn't see his face in the other one. I couldn't find the face picture for that
I'm
one.
just nervous.
He does look very nervous.
Hey, you know what? The
not
man's
too
got a
comfortable with
gun.
that
You
gun.
leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I would.
Oh, P.S.
He looks determined.
P.S. I do want to say a big, huge thank you to Austin Basis because I know that he watches the show, which is amazing. And he tweeted a picture of himself watching AfterBuzz last week and posted it. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That is
So
really
And the
Cool.
cat.
thank you. And the cat. Oh yes, and the kitty.
cat.
His kitty. His beautiful kitty was in the picture as well too.
Yeah, so cute.
So anyway, thank you. And next picture. Oh, this is Tessa's fight scene, even though it wasn't a real fight scene. And sorry,
I don't
JT, or I should say Austin, that is not probably the most flattering angle. But anyway, she's looking real tough. So that's my.
He may not mind it. You don't know.
I'm sure you know that hotel room. A
Well,
little
that's
bit
not-
of
that's
this,
not even
a
where I was
little bit of
taking it. That's
that.
not even where I was taking it.
Anyway, I couldn't find any fight scenes with Gabe, so instead I found him as a beast picking his nose.
Gross.
That's-
Thanks for that one, Alex.
Yeah.
Anytime, that's what I'm here for. Okay, so I do believe that is my last picture.
That's a good way to end.
But before we get into predictions, though, I have been meaning to for weeks. Ruth Cassidy wanted me to give a shout out to Instinct E. They have a part in the music, and somebody was asking about one of the songs one time, and apparently they had something to do with it. So you can follow them on Twitter, and I'm sure Ruth Cassidy has tweeted it out before. But I've been meaning to say it for weeks, and I always forget, so I apologize.
No worries, thank you.
And they do always have great music on this show, and every
Yes.
CW show, honestly, always has really good music. So
It's true. I Shazam a lot of it.
yeah, Shazam. I don't even have that app. I need to get
You gotta
that
get
because
on
it's so
Shazam.
good when you're watching these shows to
Yeah,
have
man,
that. Jealous.
So tell me, ladies, lady
and-
and gentlemen, are we ready to get into predictions?
Yes,
Let's do it.
ma'am.
Let's do it.
I have that video for you if you want me to show that too.
Yeah, just kidding. I have a video. Whoops. Okay, so
Prediction teaser.
I know I'm such a tease.
Oh, my
Do you
God.
guys remember I showed this picture the other week? Austin, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I found what it went to.
That is so funny.
Oh wait,
Gangnam Style.
That's funny. His face.
I'm sure a fan did this and not him. And I don't know if you've seen this, Austin, but you got moves.
I'm not sure what to do with it.
That's what I do with it. It just makes me want to laugh. I'm like, oh, wow.
I don't have a category for that one.
No.
Oh, get it? Oh, hip
whoa.
thrust.
Pelvic
What?
thrust.
Pelvic
Wow.
thrust. Get it.
That's funny.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't look at. Wow, look, she's blushing.
I know
Oh my
she likes
God.
it.
well, because it's like,
Wow.
I'm thinking,
Wow.
okay, with the booty pop.
Whoa,
So here's the
wow.
thing. I'm like,
Okay.
do you, like, is that something, are
Wow,
you, wait,
you're speechless. Look at you. She's like totally
just a little bit.
flabbergasted. Look
No,
at you.
because what I
Wow.
want to say is when stuff like this happens, and you're Austin, okay? So is that flattering? Is it funny? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a great sense of humor, so I guess I shouldn't even ask that question. But I mean, to anybody else,
It means
it's like,
you've made it.
Is that what that means?
It's
means
not
you've
like
made it.
vulgar or rude or mean or anything like that. So I
No,
feel like
no.
it's, if it was something like that, I'm sure it's not appreciated. But when it's all in good fun, hey, it just means you got fans.
Made
Yeah.
you blush.
It did. It really did.
That's funny. Like if somebody made that of me, I'd be like, yes.
I'm official.
I have to show my grandma. Like that's what I would say.
Okay, so now we can get into predictions.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
So I'm gonna regain my composure. I'm gonna pass the baton over to
Alex,
you.
you go.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
On the
trying to
spot.
think. I don't.
Yeah. I'm still.
Put me on the spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Predictions. I'm gonna go with the 3-episode countdown for Gabe and Cat.
Okay.
That's prediction number 1. Vince, what's gonna happen to my man Vince in the next 3 episodes? I think he's gonna make a move on Cat within 5 episodes. I think 3 episodes for the breakup, and within 2 episodes after that,
He's going in for the kill.
He's going in. He's a beast.
Okay. Yeah, he's got instincts.
Yeah.
I think that Tessa and JT are going to be very lovey-dovey moving forward. I think they're going to be like in the honeymoon stage, which I'm very excited to see.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care about Gabe and Cat. Because I feel like I know it's inevitably going to break up. No, I feel like no matter what, it's not going to work. So I can't get too invested in that. So I'd much prefer to get invested in JT and T.
You know what? That's how they feel about it too.
Yeah,
they
you can
They
tell.
don't care about being invested
Yeah.
in that either.
Yeah.
But I also think maybe Vincent seeing what could have been will drive him to do something. Like you can't just be this war hero without a job chasing other beasts for your whole life. Like when that's
Right.
over, who are you going to be?
It's time to
Right.
grow up, buddy.
Like get a job. Be a
Right.
doctor again.
Right.
Like maybe he could, like I don't know. It wouldn't work well with being a beast
Fear
chaser,
base.
but like maybe he could get involved with something. Everybody else actually has a job. Like he doesn't.
So you're so you're saying, Vince, you got to get off the couch and get a job. buddy.
Freeloader.
It's time to grow up, bud. It's time to grow up.
I know it's TV, but like really, like who pays your bills?
Well, I mean, I think the boat was already paid off by
Muirfield
what's
just
his
paid it
bucket.
Wow.
Yeah,
What about
Dad
the
Reynolds.
electricity? That thing's not like unlimited.
Yeah, boats are not cheap.
You know, I don't
And
know.
the dock space? I mean,
You know, you guys are way too technical for me over here.
She's
So
got a point, though. I mean, she does kind of have to get on with it.
I think, okay, first of all,
So Vince gets a job within what? Within
10
within
episodes.
10 episodes.
next season.
This is what I think is going to happen. So we know there's a new beast involved. So we're still centering
Oh, right.
a lot of our episodes around this underground thing that's going on. We're still trying to figure out who the heck Tony is. And P.S., Sam is still around. He doesn't know that his wife is still alive. Obviously, he thinks she's dead. Because they were going to say, you know, one of his things his wife was saying was, so what, do I pretend I don't know that my husband is A, B, C, and D? So they're going to plan some sort of something to nail him. And while they're doing that, they're going to find out more, which is why this other beast comes about.
Right.
Now, I think that's going to be so complicated that Vince is not going to have time to do the romance thing. If
No,
anything, it
not
allows him
next
to block it out.
Yeah.
So
I think they get Sam next episode.
yeah, I can see
I'm
that.
gonna
I
add
can see
another
that
prediction.
happening.
This coming episode?
But do
think
you
the
think?
next episode
But
they
this
just take
next
him out.
beast, is it going to join the team? Or are we going to have a
No.
bigger
No,
posse?
he looks mean.
He does not seem like a team
He
player.
looks
No.
angry.
He does not.
Okay, he's gone.
I don't want him on
He's
my
gone.
team.
I will say, I do think that the romance is going to go somewhere with JT and Tess. Googly, yes, that could happen. And I think, I don't know. I don't know if they'll be off in their own world, or maybe they're now going to be the geeky pair, if you will, that's, you know, behind the computer, both working together to help solve cases while everybody else deals with drama or
Yeah.
what
She
have
He
you.
seems more action oriented.
Yeah.
I think she's going to pull him out of his
You
computer.
know, and I really would like to see them on an official date. Like, I want to see what they do, not just, oh, hey, they had a hotel room, and then they come back the next episode and they're just loving. Like, I want to see the hotel room.
You wanna see
I
the
want to
cam-
see.
Whoa, what-
Well,
where
no.
we go- where are you going
Hold
with
on.
this?
I want to see rose petals, and I want to see a romantic kiss. Don't need to get into details, but then in the morning, I want to see them wake up and him watch her sleep and kiss her on the cheek or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, this is an HBO.
I went there.
You know,
I went there.
well,
That's what I want to
we'll
see.
find out.
Okay, yeah, we will. We'll
Do
find
what
out
you
next
can.
week.
Do
We'll
what
find out
you
next week.
can.
Until then, I want you guys to leave everybody your Twitter handles, websites, aka whatever.
You can tweet me, Instagram me at Paige Sull.
You can tweet me, Instagram, look me up on Facebook, Alex Angarita.
And I have a lot of things you can find me on. You know what? You can tweet at me at KissMyPassport. You can find me on my website. It's alikonabradford.wix.com/television host. I just started doing a blog on there, so you can read that. You can probably find me on Instagram too.
Probably just Google her.
Just put my name in the little
She's
bar.
like the only Alikona Bradford. You'll find her.
Yeah. This is good point. Good point.
You only need one.
This is very true. See, I like you even more. All right, so that wraps the show for today. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. Oh, congratulations.
still was late.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.